Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying some makeup, and I've not really done a review of makeup products in a while. The makeup collection I'm going to be trying is Simpsons with Makeup Revolution, and it's a Treehouse of Horror collection. Obviously you can probably tell I've not done my makeup today at all because I didn't buy all my makeup from Revolution just for this video. I am going to need to do my eyebrows, concealer, stuff like that. So I'll do those bits first and then I'll come back ready to try the makeup. So I've done my eyebrows and I've also put the concealer around them that I normally use. And before I go into the eyeshadow palette, because I do my eyes first, I am just going to use the e.l.f. primer. This is what the eyeshadow palette looks like on the outside. I'm just going to check that my primer's okay because I didn't use a mirror, I just looked in the camera. So this is what the palette looks like on the inside, and I will tell you the shades as I use them, and I'm just using my Beauty Bay eyeshadow brush. So I'm first just using Bad Dream House as just a really light brown transition shade. You can probably see it's only the lightest little bit of colour, but that is the point of a transition shade. I can't really say much about the pigment just yet. For a transition shade it is what I expect, and it does work like any other that I've used. I'm next just going to go into Eye of Newt. You can probably tell, but honestly that was really good. I literally only tapped it into the pigment about twice and then tapped off the excess on top of my palette, and I did not expect that, to be honest. Next I'm going to go into Possessed. I personally think that's really good, and sometimes colours get lost in each other when you try and blend on top of each other and stuff, but I really think you can see each colour that I've put in there, and I'm just really shocked at how good it is, because Revolution is a brand that was really cheap when I was younger and about 16 and first getting into makeup and stuff, and I know that I used to buy it because it was cheap, and obviously if it's cheap you're not going to expect the best quality. I used their first ever eyebrow palette that they came out with, and the shadows in that palette were pretty chalky and not really that good. As I've gotten older and I can afford more expensive makeup, I do go for middle brands, not super high end, not really low. I go for middle brands on eyeshadow. Concealer and everything else like that, I go for low end brands, I don't pay a lot of money because I think you can get good ones for not a lot of money. Eyeshadow, however, it can be either really chalky or just really not pigmented at all. So I was a bit worried about buying Revolution products again, because I know when I used them when I was younger, they weren't all that amazing for eyeshadow and stuff, and they weren't that pigmented. But I have watched other people's YouTube videos, and I know that Soph did a collaboration with Revolution, and I was going to buy it, but I thought, based on my previous experience with their products, it's not probably going to be much better. Clearly they have revisited how they make the products, and the eyeshadows I've used so far are really good. I'm first just going to put a bit of the NYX glitter glue on the part that I want to put the shimmer. The shimmer that I'm going to use is called Halloween. I mean, side by side comparison of my eyes after putting literally just the shimmer on, I'm honestly just in shock. I really did not expect the most out of this, and I don't know, I guess I'm proving myself wrong on not really giving it much. So this is a lip mask, but I feel like that's probably basically along the lines of a lip balm. So while I'm doing the rest of my face, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of it on. It is the Kodos Candy Apple lip mask, by the way. I think the reason I'm shocked by the smell of it is because I read it in my head as sour apple, even though I've just said candy apple. Candy apple is more like toffee and stuff, which makes sense because that's how it smells. But I was expecting like sour apple. Never mind. That is what it looks like on the inside. You can see how little I've just used, and when I put it on it just feels like lip balm. It does feel like a nice lip balm. But yeah, it does just feel like a lip balm. So I'll leave it on while I do the rest of my face. This is the blending sponge from the Treehouse of Horror range, and it's called Donut Head Homer Blending Sponge. So this is what it's like out of the packet. My concern is like how practical it actually is, because I mean the two ways you're gonna do it is that, which is highly doubtful, or I'm gonna use it like any other blending sponge and like that way. I'm just not sure how well that's gonna work. I'll read the packet and see if it says to wet it or not. Well, the packet doesn't say anything about wetting it or not, but it does feel kind of like just any other makeup sponge. So I am going to wet it with a bit of setting spray. So that is it wet, not much different really, but I'm going to use my usual Makeup Collection concealer. I don't know if you can tell, but the product was like drying as I'm trying to blend it, which is a sign of how long it is taking to do. It's not really practical, like any way that you do that. It's not, you can kind of get underneath your eyes like this, but right in the corner is not very easy. And even though I've wet it, it feels like it's not really holding much moisture. Whereas other beauty sponges that I've used hold the product, like the water that you put in them, it holds that so that it doesn't soak up your product, whereas this is soaking up product. I'll try and show you. I'm not sure if you can see it right on the end. Most of the product that I've tried to use is just being soaked up. I'm going to just use my normal brush instead to finish my concealer. So I'm sure you can probably tell from how white my face is now and like a ghost that I have done all my concealer, and now it's time to try the face palette, which is called Spooktacular Face Palette, and this is the packaging. It is literally just the same as the eyeshadow palette really, and I will show you the inside as well. So those are the shades on the inside. There's Evil Twin, which is like a bronzer. There's Brains, which is a blush, and Cursed, which is a highlighter. Anyway, based on the eyeshadow, I am hoping that these are going to be good. First impressions, I think that looks really nice, and it sounds really like I'm just trying to say anything nice that I can about it now, but I promise you I'm not. I am being honest. I've never put a bronzer on and felt like it actually fits. It's not too orange and it's not too cool tone, because I think I'm a neutral tone, I'm unsure. But usually I do struggle to find a bronzer shade, and I just think that that's really nice and it blended out really easy. I really like everything I've used so far apart from the brush. Not the brush, the sponge. That's the only thing that I've not found any use for, and it's not absolutely amazed me. Honestly, that is the first bronzer I ever used that I've just instantly been amazed with. It seemed like I put a lot on at the start, and then as soon as I started blending, it just blended out and it just matches so nicely. So next I'm going to go into the blush, which is Brains, and it's got a little Lisa imprint on it. The powders that I'm using look matte in the palette, and then I put them on and they've got a little like sheen to them. I've never ever liked face powders more than I like these ones, and they were literally so affordable. So the last thing to go into in this face palette is the highlighter called Cursed, and it's got a little Maggie printed in it. There's literally never ever been a face palette that every single product in it has matched my skin and I've loved, and this one has done that, and I genuinely didn't have super high hopes for this because, like I say, I've used this brand before. It wasn't that good, so I've never bought from them again. So the last thing for me to do is my lips, and I have got a product for that, but first I'm just going to go do the eyeshadow underneath my eye and do mascara. So in terms of all the face products, that is done. Honestly, I can't stop looking at the face powders and the eyes. And now it's time to try the last thing, which is, it's just called a lip kit. This one is in the shade Donut Head Homer. I was going to get like a Ned Flanders one, but I just know that the colour wouldn't have matched my complexion and the makeup I normally do and stuff. So I went for the most like nude one, and that's this one. And if it is the colour on the top of the packet, then that's good, but sometimes it's not the same. That's the colour I'm on about. So these are the two products in the box. One is a liquid lipstick, one is a lip gloss. And I know that's been a thing recently where you do the liquid lipstick like normal, and then people put lip gloss on top of that to make it glossy and not matte. So I will try how it wants me to do both. But as a fair warning, I will say that I don't normally wear lipstick ever really at all. I just don't like the feeling of it. I don't like to have anything on my lips. It stresses me out most of the time. So I might be a little bit opposed to this just because of that, but I will try and give you a fair opinion on it aside from my own, if that makes sense. It has a really weird chocolatey kind of smell to it, but I will say straight off, I don't know if you can see that, but the applicator is a little bit bent, and the packaging on this one does feel lower quality to everything else that I've used. But anyway, I'm still going to try it. So that is as good as it's getting in lipstick application for me. I'm not very good at it. I don't really like the shape of my lips, so that's really why I don't wear lipstick, because I feel like it kind of points them out when I don't want them to be pointed out. This is just a liquid lipstick right now. I've not put the gloss on top, so I guess we wait for this to dry and then I'll put the gloss on. This also smells really sweet. I'm not sure if it's because it's the donut one, like the Donut Head Homer one, but the lip gloss also smells really sweet. And I'm getting pretty impatient waiting for my lips to dry, so I am just going to put this on top, and I'm probably going to mess up the applicator now, but the smell of chocolate and like just sweet is really strong. I'm not a fan of that, but if it doesn't bother you, then you will be bothered. But this is it with the lip gloss on top as well. I don't know if you can tell, but there's just a little bit more sheen than there was before. I'm guessing if you let the liquid lipstick dry right down, and then put the lip gloss on, it would probably have much better results. This is the finished video of using the Revolution Simpsons collection. Honestly, I'm really glad I bought it, and I'm glad I spent the money on it. I used a discount code, I can't remember how much for, I think it was like 10%. And all 5 things came to £45. So they would have been 50 for 5 products, which is like £10 each basically. But I think the palette was the most expensive thing, the eyeshadow palette. But yeah, this is the full face done. And I don't think there's one thing I didn't like, apart from the smell of the liquid lipstick and the lip gloss and the blending sponge. Those are the only things I dislike about it. A negative thing, I guess, for somebody else who might go buy it is the face palette is not really appropriate for anyone much darker skinned than me. As you can see, it's a pretty good match for me, are the shades in that face palette, and I am really fair skinned, so I imagine much darker than me it's not really going to be very good for you, which is annoying. And I wish they did more variations of that palette, just in deeper colours and different colours and stuff like that. My personal experience and putting it on right now, I'm happy with literally everything. Like I say, apart from the sponge and the scent of the lipsticks, everything's really good. I'd say go buy it. It's something that's really, I guess it's kind of novelty because it's Halloween and stuff like that, but I watch The Simpsons all the time, so I knew I was going to get it regardless, and if it was rubbish I was going to keep it because it's Simpsons. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!